I was gambling in Havana. Wait, hold on. I went home with the waitress, the way I always do. How was I to know she was with the Russians too? Huh!
That's Bene Coopersmith.
Good morning. Good morning.
Paying impromptu homage to the late, great Warren Zevon.
Yeah, last summer was my summer of Zevon,
Yeah.
and now it's winter. Still Zevon.
You can find Benny's shop at
360
Van Brunt Street in Brooklyn's Red Hook.
For now, record shop, yeah. I like to say it's a nice place. I mean, I still like it. You walk in, there's a lot of light, which I think is good.
Plant here.
Yeah, plants is important, life. Yeah, I wanted to feel home like a home. We were gonna call it second home, but it was leaning on the funeral home. So I didn't want people to get the wrong idea.
A neighborhood man, Benny makes his living as a carpenter
You know, I do renovations work for a living.
and follows his passion for music and community through his record shop.
Man, I can say a lot about this shop.
That's Jamie Branch, friend and customer to the store.
This is literally my favorite record shop in Brooklyn. It's not just because I live in Red Hook. It's like the collections he gets in. Benny goes out of his way to find the good stuff, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this is an easy game. If you're good at finding things, you'll do pretty good.
He'll like go to an estate sale of a retired actress, or he'll go to a
But that's hard, because it's a tough game. A lot of people are doing it and they don't have shops.
It's like he really grades them and takes that seriously. And, you know, this 2018, there's no need for that anymore. But he is serious about it, and that's why the shop is dope.
You know, so like my friends that sell records will be like, why would you have a shop? You know, why would you not just have a warehouse and sell records and make money? But that's not really the point for me, yeah. I want to have like a positive social experience. You know, I don't want to sit in front of the computer all day. I'd rather hand it to somebody for a friendly price.
I mean, Benny's one of those guys that's not just like surface about community. I mean, he has a shop where people can congregate and hang out and play music, and there's shows here, and there's lessons here, and there's a barber shop, you know?
Proper salon. Cut and color. Like my mother worked for 30 years, so also makes me feel more comfortable. And we have some shows, try to make it special, maybe once or twice a month. Have some performance, mostly friends and people that live in the neighborhood. But sometimes we have shows here. Think about it. It's a nice place for a show. It's like, I mean, it makes sense. It's like alternative to the bar. We could fit maybe 25, 30 people in. It's nice. The place has an interesting shape too, very unusual. This ceiling is sloped. It's kind of like a speaker. So it sounds good in here.
He arrives on foot to his store in the morning, picks a record, and flicks on a neon sign, popping the word music in script calmly from the window onto the sidewalk. The day for Benny deserves its attendant ritual. And for a moment before the shop opens, he burns a sweetwood stick and sways in the sound. Soon the guests will roll in. Guests who come through sometimes to buy a record and sometimes, maybe more often, just to chat with their friend Ben.
That's my uncle. Keep the muscles tight around the asshole. Keep the muscles tight around the brain. Then too much shit doesn't come out. You don't sound insane.
There you go, Papi. A lot of people, they give up on themselves. I never do.
I know. Positive. PMA.
Oh, I was going to say.
You can light your own fire like this.
Oh, yes.
Like this.
If you did not get a chance to give $10 to these lovely musicians, please see me on your way out. All that cash goes to the musicians, folks.
Benny has a knack for making all feel welcome in his space.
Oh, like, listen to this song. Like, this is like Gypsy Davy, you know?
You almost forget you're at a store. It feels more like maybe you're passing through his
store,
living
you know?
room. Yeah.
It was late last night when the boss come home. He's asking about his lady. The only answer he received.
She's gone with the Gypsy Davy.
Gone with the Gypsy Davy.
But that's what I'm always singing. It's late last night when the boss come home.
That day, Benny and I sat down to chat and listen to music. And we pick up here, continuing our conversation on Warren Zevon.
For sure.
Something about his voice.
Yeah, and he's got that thing where he could put two songs into one song.
Yeah.
You know, Desperados Under the Eaves.
Mm-hmm.
It's like three songs in one song.
Yeah. And even when he's approaching kind of darkness, he has a levity to the music.
I like that too. That is also something that I feel close to, that sense of humor.
Yeah. Is Keep Me in Your Heart. When I lost my best friend in high school, and that song, his mother's a big music fan, and she showed us that song, so that's always been a big one for me too.
Yeah, I can sadly also relate to losing a friend, and also having my other friend play that Zevon song at the service.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty brutal, but yeah, beautiful. But that's the idea.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, it's fun to be in the space. Sometimes we record at my apartment, which is fun too. But I always like, especially when it's a store owner or business owner, or to go to their world, and to be down here and to be up in the shop. This is really, really fun. So appreciate you taking the time.
Sure, fun to share it.
Yeah.
That's the point. Create and share.
Create and share.
You know, otherwise, yeah. I mean, I'm not that neurotic.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I am. But I'm not totally shipwrecked. I want to share this thing. It's supposed to be a community space, so it's nice to nice to let people know that it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're down in the basement right now of the record shop, which also functions as a little practice space.
Yeah.
After shop closes, we open this up for practice and to teach lessons.
So for anybody to practice, or you got to.
It's mostly neighborhood people, you know, that. You know, I mean, that was the incentive. Just hearing people in the bar.
Yeah.
Oh, I should be playing. You know, like, fine, I'll open up this space. Yeah. Now you have to play.
Oh, cool. Wow. I
love
love that.
Now you have to stop talking about it. And make something.
Yeah.
And also, for kids, we're right across from a school, so it's a good location to start with early, introduction to instruments.
Did you start when you were pretty young?
Yeah, start like appreciating music. My father's a musician. He's a vocal, what do you call it, doo-wop guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah, still.
Ah. So
entertainer. He's like an entertainer. I mean, he grew up in that world.
Yeah.
Kind of song and dance man.
Wow.
And has had many groups, like vocal.
He's from New York?
He's from Canarsie.
Yeah.
From Brooklyn. And
so you're around it from the get-go. You saw your dad.
Yeah, so that'll make you want to do it and also not want to do it, because that's his thing. So I didn't really start until later on.
Nice.
I just enjoy, I was happy to let him, get pleasure. So yeah, I mean, I think early on I got pleasure from music in a different way. Like I saw that his was mostly performative. He doesn't really listen to music in the house. He only wanted to listen to his music.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe in idolizing anybody, but himself.
Ah.
So it's like, but he loves sharing it. So that was his pleasure.
Yeah.
Like seeing other people happy when he performs.
What were some of the early influences for you musically?
Yeah, I mean, just the music in the house always. Yeah. So whether you're trying to allow it or not,
right.
it's there.
You're taking it in.
And it's he likes the hits. My father Dion and the Belmonts and these vocal Beatles and things like that.
Yeah. neither of my parents were musical, but they love music, and they always had pretty good stuff on early on. Dylan and Roy Orbison and
Yeah, we love Roy.
Fleetwood
love,
Mac.
Love it.
I'm trying to think of what else, but Traveling Wilburys were on there.
All-star bands. All-star groups.
But that's cool. So I wore this Hawaiian shirt in honor of your character from Person to Person.
Right. Flashy shirt.
Yeah, I love that part of the movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny because I'm a shirt fanatic, so I got a kick out of that. Where you're like, in the store, was that improv when you're like, what do you think of this shirt? And they're like, we like it.
It's
You're like, yeah, but is it good for me?
right. I mean, that's mostly taken from my own neuroses. You know, the guy that made that film is a buddy of mine, and we live together.
Yeah.
And I'm very slow at bringing anything into my wardrobe. I'm slow to absorb it, you know, so I'm always questioning whether it looks good. Because, you know, I have no perspective on myself, you know. I don't know if it's like... So that wasn't a stretch, you know, to like perform that in a new, you know.
I loved it.
So...
So that movie, I really liked the film.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think it's got some good parts.
Yeah. What was... were you playing yourself?
Yeah, I'm playing a version of myself.
Yeah. And it's testament to your character that your allure, your kind of magnetism is enough for a filmmaker to say, we want you in a movie, Benny, as you are.
I think, yeah, well, that's always the challenge, to just show a slice of life, to show somebody, just a man. I'm not really concerned about good acting or bad acting. When I see a film, I just want to see a person, you know, that I can believe in.
Yes.
Or not, or maybe the opposite.
Had you ever acted before?
No,
No.
not really.
What was it like being in front of a camera? I would imagine that would be hard if you'd never done it. Or a little weird.
It's weird. You know, you see how hard your friend works to make something, so you just don't want to let them down, and you try to like let that go and just. And he was good about it. He told me not to really look at the script or wait to look at the script. You know, it was scripted.
Yeah.
Movie, but there was no preparation. I'm sure I would have done some things differently.
Really?
No.
Like what?
But in the moment, you can only show up with a full spirit and try to do your job. I mean, just making a movie like anything, it's just huge feat.
Yeah.
You know, just to get everybody together.
Right.
Get
I'm
the
always
money together. Yeah.
amazed by. Every time I watch a film now, I'm always thinking, wow, like how many people had to be involved in the scheduling and the money and the timing, and so many things have to come together, let alone you're trying to tell us a story that translates.
Yeah, so like how can it be anything but praise?
Yeah.
how can you be so critical? But yeah. It's my buddy that made that film. I hope he will get to make another film.
Yeah. There's some great acting in that. George Sample?
George Sample is amazing. I think he will continue to do more work. Yeah, he's the real deal. The fact that Philip Baker Hall, like a hero of mine, got to be in that film is great. And his restrained performance, so amazing. Actually, it was nice. I got to actually meet him and hang with him for a minute.
Oh, you did?
Got to send him a record for Christmas last year.
What'd you send him?
He's like I sent him a Nat Adderley record. He's like a straight, sent him a nice jazz record.
Nice. What are some of the when someone comes in the store and asks for a recommendation? Yeah. What are some of the titles that come to mind?
Oh, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to have like a used record shop where it's always changing. You know, I have very little stuff that I order.
Yeah.
So it's mostly used stuff, which is a reflection of, what I'm pulling in from New York. And New York is a pretty diverse city still. Mm-hmm. So it's nice that like there's a ton of Haitian records in the shop, or there's a bunch of Calypso records, because there's like Caribbean communities. And I go and bring these records in. So, yeah, whatever it is, maybe something you got to give them what they want first.
Yeah.
Then you got to give them what they need. That's my father's expression. You give them what they want, then you give them what they need. So you can't start them off too weird. You got to give them the Fleetwood Mac,
Yeah.
and then you can give them the weird calypso tune.
Right. So where does it all come from? Does it you kind of scour the neighborhoods, or do you have online sources? Or
No, I just word of mouth, really.
Word of mouth.
Taking care of people, fairly. If you do that, they'll tell their friends.
Yeah.
So there's like a momentum from that. There's like a velocity. Like money has velocity, like if you take care of people the right way, they'll spread the word.
Yeah.
It's very competitive in New York. There's a lot of shops opening up still.
Vinyl shops.
Yeah, just record shops. Yeah, and even more people that just do it. Like I said, just do it online.
Yeah. Why is there sort of a resurgence of that, do you think? Of records, vinyl?
I think there's a bunch of reasons.
Yeah.
There's like some fetishism involved. I think, and then for some people it's always been their preference.
Yeah.
So they kind of laugh when you say like resurgence, because like they've always been listening to records. People are pushing it and marketing it in like a fetish, in a way that you're seeing records very expensive. Like to me, records should be cheap.
Yeah.
So it's hard to have a shop where it's not all cheap, but there's a marketplace for it. So you could see the supply and demand.
Yep.
And also the fact that nothing is like, for me, I love records. I love it's maybe how a lot of these artists wanted their music to be heard. So, and I love the idea of records like cultural objects.
Yeah. Like
Those are the records that this is a document.
Like an artifact.
An artifact, like a message in a bottle.
Yeah.
And when you find it, it's a little message from the artist. Maybe there's only a couple hundred copies.
Yeah.
And it's like I still get it. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, last time I was here, you had just ordered it looked like a stack of 50, just for one record. You bought a bunch. You bought like a box from somebody.
Oh yeah, you have to do that sometimes,
Yeah.
for sure. Like a lot of people that I work with, you can't be cherry picking it, so you gotta.
So they're like, take them all or take.
Yeah, it's very sweet. My family looks out for me too. My brother came by yesterday with 7 boxes. Look, I got for you, and it was terrible. So it's a lot of work. But I found one record,
Nice.
So, and I don't mind.
Yeah.
It's sweet that he was thinking of me.
And is it all your whatever you like and don't like, or how do you say what you're gonna keep?
No, you can't be like that.
Yeah.
You can't be that uptight.
Yeah.
I try to, you try to hit all the marks.
Yeah.
As the shop, like, as I get more confidence in it, you build those bones, whatever these genres are. Classic rock and good R&B or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you could sprinkle it in. You can, that's why it's fun to have like other little categories. Like
Yeah.
I got a dreamy section.
Dreamy.
Dreamy.
Cool.
There's a protest section in the shop. It's nice to like fill it out.
So, what made you want to open the shop originally? Did you always want to do it, or was it?
It was something I always like had in the back of my mind. I always made money in a different way.
Yeah.
But I was always buying records. I had a huge record collection.
Yeah.
And I used to work at a shop for many years in Brooklyn. And I guess that's where it was on 59th Street. And I worked there for like 10 or 12 years. And, the owner was getting older, and they'd be like, Tony, what's going to happen to the record? And I'd be like, I'm going to give it to Benji. And I started to believe it, And I was doing other things in my life. I was just working there on Sundays. And I started to really like believe it. Like that's what I was going to do, keep this shop going. Because that was always my interest in like old, like rebuilding old. Like same thing, I was doing renovations work, same thing. Like I like the old parts of New York.
Yeah.
So, try to preserve that.
Yeah.
And so that put it in my brain that was something I could do. Of course, when I like went to go sit down with him and talk about taking over the shop, he pretended like he didn't know what I was talking about. So I was like, what the fuck? But that made sense. He's still there.
Oh, yeah?
It's great. Hilarious shop. Fifth Avenue, 9th Street. It's been there since 1968.
What's it called?
Record and Tape Center
Cool.
on Fifth Avenue, 9th Street. Tony Mignoni, owned by Tony Mignoni.
I'm gonna go check it out.
It rhymes.
It runs.
Tony Mignoni.
So you sought that out and you wanted to work there because you liked records.
No, I was just in that shop one day, and he was already an older guy, and he had too much to carry,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in good shape. So he said, can you help me move these things? And I helped him, for nothing, and then he like gave me the keys the next day and said,
Oh,
can you
wow.
open up Sunday? It was like that.
Nice.
And that's kind of, I love that philosophy. I love
Yeah.
that, kind of, he just trusted me immediately. He knew me as a customer.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I've been able to employ my shop, too, with just friends and random people that come through.
Yeah. That's definitely one of the things that I felt immediately about you and about your shop is this you do breed a sense of trust because you're very comfortable with yourself, and then that makes everyone comfortable to be around you, and to have that in a store environment is very pleasant, and it feels very real and authentic and welcoming.
Yeah, I think that's nice. Thank you. I mean, it can go both ways. It can also make you like open to getting taken advantage of,
Yeah.
which certainly happens. And that sucks because the more you reach out to the world pulls back. Like especially it's like everybody's suspicious.
Yeah.
If you're like too generous, like what's he trying?
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to apply it in the right way, and trust your instinct
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But
There's a line I like in that in the movie where you're saying, "I got music in my heart,"
right,
and you share it with the people
right.
and trust that they'll. I've forgotten the exact line, but
I forgot it too. I would have prepared. That was one. That was like something I had.
I think I have it on my.
That was mostly scripted.
Yeah.
I think I got that text, or I was learning it that day,
Yeah.
and it was from Dustin. It was his writing, or
Yeah.
that was his read on, but yeah, close to me.
Yeah.
I certainly share that feeling.
I got it here. This is a clip from the 2017 film Person to Person.
Me, I've got music in my heart. I've got love for it. I seek it out. I find records. I collect them. I sell them to people who have that same love inside. It's a tender spot. It's vulnerable. It's a spot that you think nobody's going to take advantage of you. Then you go around and you let that love be known. You share it. You share it with people, and you trust that they won't violate you. That's basic moral code. It should be in the fibers of your body. Yeah, because it's hard to keep a vulnerable spot vulnerable.
Right.
Like, or tender. Yeah, it's hard to not be, have your defenses up.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, that does work. That still works. That's still a good way to operate in the world, to start by giving. And, like, to know the nature of it, that there is, you're not depleted by sharing with people.
Right.
You're depleted by being stingy.
Right.
Because, when you're really sharing, it's coming from the spot where there's, like, no bottom to it.
Right.
You could just, so.
I love that. But that's an interesting point because in order to share, you have to open yourself up. And by opening yourself up, there's potential for being harmed.
Right, and that was certainly like one of the things in that film. He wanted to show my breaking point. He wanted to show like, okay, this is a generous guy, but yeah, to an extent.
The gut punch.
Well, to an extent, and that's true. Like, I'm a generous guy to an extent.
Right.
Or to a point, as my father said. To an extent. Yeah, like don't. Yeah, when there's like, I'm also, have a certain sense of justice.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be taking it, or I don't want my friends taken advantage of, or
Right.
people I care about.
Right.
So, or myself, but.
So you do renovation work, and you said you like restoring things. You like the artifact of the records. Sensing like the tangible aspect, the preservation of quality.
Yeah, I
coming
mean,
to mind.
I think records sound good. There's a quality.
Yeah.
I mean, certain things sound good on a CD or a cassette. Certain records sound better on a record.
Yeah. Yeah.
Certain material is only available still,
Yeah.
via that.
What about some of the other artists that throughout your life have kind of lit you up in one way or another, or genres, or
Yeah. All the time being being lit up is fun. Yeah. Yeah. I guess we have this record. I had a bunch of Brazilian records too. I mean, that'll light you up.
yeah.
Oh, I just saw the Sun Ra Orchestra last night.
Oh, really?
That'll fucking light you up. You know, that'll open you up. Yeah, that'll light you up to see like many things, to see how some things can only operate on like the macro level.
Yeah.
Like this is 15 people working together.
Right.
It wouldn't work as 3.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me about.
How's it going, Benny? What you up to?
I'm just doing this thing.
Oh, cool.
Hey, Johnny, you all right?
Yeah, I got some books for you. I don't know, but whatever.
All right, see you in a second.
Tell me about Sun Ra, because that's come up before.
That was Johnny Boy.
Johnny Boy.
Johnny Boy with some books. Yeah, I mean, just the philosophy. I always make sure I catch the orchestra every time they play in New York, and it's always my favorite show. For so many reasons. You know, personally at the shop, you know, I remember, so 3 years ago, I was outside, I was so moved by the show that I started to roadie, you know, offer my service to roadie for the band. A lot of them are older guys, you know, so I started to carry the congas for the player, and then we started talking outside. You know, they share their philosophy, which is all about community. And they introduced me to this guy, Vincent, who was selling records, and the next day he showed up at my shop with a van full of records.
Oh, nice.
With 2 of the original guys from Sun Ra, because some live in the Bronx. They live in Philadelphia, and some live in the Bronx. And the minivan was filled with maybe 5,000 records I went through, all garbage, terrible. But meanwhile, they were like banging on the drums in the shop, and it was like the best day. I was like, no problem. But we since have we have an ongoing relationship where he does bring records to the shop, and it's it's just amazing to hear those stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do that. You know, there's always like 2 sets. There's I feel close to it because Sun Ra also one of these characters that started with doo-wop music. You know, those early records are like vocal music, weird vocal music. And then he takes it to outer space, you know? So they always have like the communal vocal element, like the mantra, you know, that they keep going, and it'll make you feel real quiet. And that's what music can really do, you know, and make you feel real quiet, let you feel the architecture of yourself, and then it'll blow the roof off if it's really good, you know? And that's what they do. They kind of set you up, and then they build a framework, and then get real free.
Yeah.
And you get to see Marshall Allen, 94, however old he is, still conducting and still getting life in music. Yeah, it's amazing. Certainly inspiration. Yeah, certainly like a great point to go from all points, in music.
It gives you energy and inspiration and a sense of release or freedom.
Yep, absolutely, yeah.
And speaking of community, the shop is definitely an important contributor to the community. What are you hoping to provide?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any specific goal. I'm just open to it.
Right.
It's nice that like there's some kids from the neighborhood that feel comfortable to come in here.
Yeah.
This can be a neighborhood that's very clearly divided, socioeconomically, but very close in proximity. So the point is just to be open place, so it's nice that people feel comfortable to come in, all walks. Because music is pretty simple, pretty primordial, it has no boundaries like that. So it's nice, with this little practice space in the basement, with the shop, with more shows at the place. Try to just make it a place where people feel good.
Yep. And a couple of shows a month, and it's local bands, friends and family.
Yeah, and also, it's been, and then it's caught on. It's been like a place where some touring bands have felt like they want to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Cool. And then you open at noon. What is it? Noon to 8, noon to 7.
Yeah, 12, right, something like that.
Yeah.
12 to 7. Monday, Tuesday closed.
You
So
get-
Wednesday to Sunday for now.
Nice.
Yeah.
You come in. You light the incense. You have your little ritual.
Yeah. Do some push-ups. Like the sweet wood, move it around the place, sweep up. Yeah, something like that.
You put the first sail on the.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, my Turkish friend taught me that. You gotta take the first sale. You gotta take the money and rub it on your face. But then I throw it on the turntable, spin it around. It's a little ritual.
Yeah. And so we're leading into opening the doors today, Sunday.
Yeah.
What would make today a good day?
Oh, I mean, it's great to make a living, great to, sell some records. But yeah, what restores you is just, once a week there's like some, I don't know, something special that happens. Some random connection. You know, like that can happen in the shop where I'm just like stepping away and two people are meeting or somebody would just get some joy from being in the place.
Yeah.
You know?
I imagine you attract a lot of characters.
Yeah, the record shop still is, which I love, still is a refuge for the downtrodden. You know? For sure there is like and I, that goes a long way with me.
Yeah.
I got a lot of patience for the characters.
Oh man.
So
I certainly stumbled in and felt at home immediately. That was cool.
good. That's the point. Beautiful.
How long you been open?
It's almost 3 years now, so I would try to keep it going. Yeah, so almost 3 years. Crazy. Goes by quick.
And you play guitar. You play anything else?
I play some music. I play in a band called Nymph.
Oh.
So I play bass in that band. We just made a record.
Oh, cool.
So I'm playing some bass
Nice.
on that. Percussion.
Cool. What type of music? How would you
Inner
describe
voices.
it? You say inner voices?
Inner voices, yeah.
That's
No.
percussion?
No, I'm not
Oh.
sure what that is.
Oh.
That's just some sound.
Got it.
That's just some space.
Yeah.
Is my father calling me?
You can take it if you need to.
No, it's all right. What kind of music is it? It's saxophone, flute, guitar, bass, hand percussion, and some kind of interpretive vocals. I guess it's kind of like yoga rock.
Cool.
It's like psychedelic music.
Nice.
Fun.
Nice.
Play with friends.
Yeah. Any acting on the horizon for you? Any more?
I'm not sure. I mean, I've done some little things also with friends. I mean, that's what your friend's art is the best art. I like to cooperate on a team. I'm not seeking acting roles, really.
Yeah.
But I'm open to it.
Yeah. From what I've felt and talked to you about, a sense and interest in inner life, the inner workings of the individual spirit.
Sure.
And I think that's why I'm drawn to your person and your store. Is that accurate?
I mean, that's something I'm always working on. That's something we're always, it's always a work in progress.
Yeah.
But always the point, you're dissatisfied. Yeah, the struggle is always inside. Mm-hmm. Whatever chaos is happening, it's always an inner, so that's always, something that's the battle,
Yeah.
To be alone.
Yeah.
And, we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's what music can do, is provide that connection, context for your own inner journey, but also a connection to somebody else's. Just like a good book or any kind of art can do at its best.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. That's like saying, like you said, with a book, that moment when you're so filled up with somebody else's spirit.
Yeah.
You're alone. You're alone. Yeah, I mean, of course, connected. So you're so filled up with somebody else's spirit, you got to close the book.
Yeah.
And like take a walk around the block.
Yeah, spread
Or
it.
same thing with that music last night. I heard, it's just like great to like take it for an airing, make you involve, make you feel connected, and also hear the whole city differently.
Yeah.
For sure, that's the goal.
Yeah. It's like a power boost.
Absolutely, needed.
Yeah. Amen. What, are the doors opening?
Yeah, we're close to opening up the shop. Yeah, we got 5 minutes
All right,
left.
cool. Because I don't want to keep you from your business,
Oh, it's all good.
your work day.
I think your lady friend's watching the shop,
Yeah.
which is very lucky. Let's see how she's doing.
Yeah. Anything else you want to cover or add or say about yourself or the store?
No, come on down.
Yeah. 360 Van Brunt Street in
360
Red Hook.
Van Brunt Street, Red Hook.
It's called Record Shop.
Record Shop 360 Van Brunt. Full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Full circle. Yeah, how about that?
How about
You're a good man, Benny.
Cool, thank you, bud. Same.
That was the one and only Bene Coopersmith. Get down to his record store on 360 Van Brunt Street in Red Hook. Thanks everyone out there for listening. This is Ty McDonald, your host. Thanks again to Roos. The song you're hearing right now is a clip from In Praise of Idleness. Also, during the intro, you heard a clip from the song Wednesday by the Detroit Emeralds and Gypsy Davy by Woody Guthrie. Also, check out the film which we talked about in this episode. It's called Person to Person. You can find it on iTunes or Amazon. Thank you also to Aaron Mason and CF Watkins for the collaboration. Catch you next time. Looking forward to it on the Jalapeno.